lot of us had never been to Texas before. So traveling down, obviously it got a lot hotter and a lot more humid.
The first time I had to run the bases in Texas, I didn't get on base a lot, so it wasn't a lot so good for me. But, oh my gosh, I got to second base, I'm like, dang, Coach D, I need a pinch runner. That's how it felt in Texas. That's how hot it was.
It was hot, which was an adjustment that we needed to make, but you know, we made that adjustment. You know, we chugged water like it was no other. But you know, we still had a lot of fun. I mean, me personally, and as well as a few of the other teammates, we did a lot of dancing, and that kind of just loosened us up a little bit once we did get onto the field.
Music plays into our softball team as a whole, because whether it's like our pregame through our warm-up, like we are always getting like, we're dancing, we're keeping the energy up, we're talking, and I think the way that we set our pace and warm-up is what carries throughout the rest of the game.
There's zero pressure on us. After you win a couple innings, pressure really gets hard on them. We're swinging free, having fun, talking, playing great D, doing us. We have the cage at 11 o'clock, you have a half hour for the cage.
She doesn't even want me to be here. It was just a joke. I don't think it was. It wasn't. Yeah, Khalil. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Lainey. Yeah.
Yeah, Pig Dog is with us.
Yeah, let's
And
there's a butterfly.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm kind of like honored. She has no idea that it happened. I'm honored, but hey, let's post a bra. Distance would suck. Thank you. Wow! Arms, feet, forward. Yes! Backward. Wow! It's provocative.
Oh my gosh!
Feels like camera now.
TUSB on 3, 1, 2, 3,
TUSB! Get her, Kenny, get her!
What happened?
Forehead selfie complete.
My water bottle on the way. Nothing calling to me. Yeah.
Tito's ready for game day. So we were at softball practice the week right before regionals, and I was just in the outfield and we were warming up doing throwing, and I looked down and there's this tiny little thing and it looks like a quarter, you know, no bigger than a quarter, and I look down and I pick him up and I run to the coaches. I'm like, oh my god, I found a turtle. Kayla started screaming like, she found a turtle, she found a turtle, and so that was pretty exciting because the twins are very animal oriented and they love animals and bring them around.
I don't know, I just have always like loved animals, so like when we came to Trine and I found out Claire hated animals, it really hurt me. Like even lizards, puppies, like how do you not like a puppy? And then Kayla found Tito and it was like on the softball field. So like once we like find something, we have to like bring it and it's like ours and it's a part of our family, so where we go, it goes.
Tito got to go everywhere. He got to go to regionals, he got to be in team pictures, he was in the outfield during warm-ups.
He traveled with us everywhere. He was just kind of like, he was our little mascot, and like, you know, he's a lot of fun.
I think having him there was something else to focus on. Like we didn't think about the game all the time and thought about like, do this for Tito or do your at-bat for Tito. When we came out of the dugouts, people were like, oh, is that Tito? Everybody just loved him. And then we just brought him everywhere we went. At practices, we let him crawl out on the field.
feel like I grew up with Lainey.
Something that will stay with me or has really impacted me in the duration of our 4 years was our Christmas party freshman year. And typically every year there's a senior gift, and we were eating dinner in Coach D's basement, and there was this box that was just there the whole time. And so when it was time to open it, all the seniors gathered around it, and out of this box came Coach Harvey, and they were screaming and hugging, and I just remember sitting there like, I have no idea who this person is. And that's when Coach D announced that Coach Harvey was Coach Harvey, our assistant coach, and she previously played for Trine.
I started my playing career out in Iowa, and I played 2 years at a junior college, and I got to the point where I didn't know if I'd continue playing based on my academic situation. And out of nowhere, I get a phone call from a coach out in Indiana saying that he needs a catcher, and he's got an opportunity, and I can continue my engineering academic career. And that's where it all began. I stepped into a program for the first time in my life that accepted me as me. It was genuine for the first time. I wasn't just a piece. Most of my athletic career, I felt very much just as a machine brought in to do work, and I was there for that purpose only. And when I came into Tri-State at the time, it was home. It felt like the coaches met me where I was at, and I mattered. And over the course of the 12 years as I transitioned from player to coach, I dove into that culture, because if I could have a coach give that to me, then it's my calling and my purpose to continue giving that to players moving forward, to let them know that there's so much more than just the game.
And fast forward a few years, she's been one of the most inspiring people in my life, and she also was an engineering major, so she really understood what I was going through in some tough times, and she's been there for everyone.
When I came into my coaching career, Lainey was entering her freshman year, and I, for the first time, was entering my full-time coaching career, because at that point I was a project engineer doing design work, and that was my life at the time, and it never felt like that was where I was meant to be. And then I stepped into this program, and we hit that moment of our life at the same time. So over the course of that 4 years, you know, she had a grace for mistakes, because obviously as a young coach, you have growing pains, you say stupid things sometimes. But there was always an understanding and a conversation, and every year that I got to be a part of Lainey's story, I learned just as much from her as she learned from me. From having conversations of just trying to pour into her that as a young female engineer, she's gonna have to be strong, she's gonna have to believe in herself, she's gonna have people constantly telling her that she can't and she won't, and she's not meant to be there. But if it's what she wants, it's my responsibility as a coach to pour that life into her, so when she leaves our program, she just comes out of it, you know, believing in herself more than she did the day she walked in. And as a coach, I think there's no greater blessing than just to believe in a kid more than they believe in themselves. No matter what, get in the mess with them, get down on their knees with them, just be there with them in it, so they know when they leave that program that there's somebody always right behind them believing in them and pushing them forward.
You know, we get the question all the time is, you know, what's the best part of your job? Obviously winning is nice, but the best part of our job is when we get a call from an employer that says, hey, you know, we're interested in this kid, and you get to explain why that company should hire your athlete. And you look at, you know, Lainey going into a great robotics engineering firm, and then Kate going to grad school, and just watching our senior and Crispy graduating the engineering degree, and down the line through the past years of watching our kids go be successful and come back and share those stories with our current players. To me, that's the best part of this job, is watching those kids come in with a dream, and now they get to go live it, and now they get to play in big games, but also get to go now into their field and not just get a job, but get a career, something they have passion about, and watch them grow into parents, and just see the maturity of life, and have them come back and say, hey, this adulting stuff isn't always great, but we've learned lessons through your program and playing softball and in the weight room, and wins and losses that are helping us become better parents and better employees. And that's really, I think, what we're doing really well with our staff, is implementing a system that helps kids go into the workplace and go into the real world and be successful. And when you get those calls back and those texts and letters saying, hey, Coach, thank you for helping shape my life, that's what this job is all about.
Our first three students who are being introduced today are members of our MIAA Conference Championship softball team. We're taking this opportunity to recognize these students so they may participate in the next tournament game, which begins shortly on our campus. I want to look to my right and the back of the building where our softball team is now gathered this morning. And we have a short message for you ladies this morning. Good luck and go Thunder.
From the College of Graduate and Professional Studies, earning a Master of Science in Leadership degree, Brittany L. Harvey. From the Allen School of Engineering, earning a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering degree, Lelena Bernice McHugh. From the Rinker-Ross School of Health Sciences, earning a Bachelor of Science degree, Catherine Jo Soppy.
The senior class was lucky enough to be able to walk with her on the graduation stage with our team. And I think it's very symbolic, and it's close to my heart that we literally graduated with our softball uniform on under our robe with the team there. So that was a really amazing experience that will stay with me forever.
I am so grateful moving forward knowing that Lainey's a friend, because like I said, she taught me just as much as I taught her, I would say. And to know that I have that connection in life and I had that grace through those 4 years as I was growing into who I was becoming.
There was a lot of emotions in the national championship, especially being a senior. It was just very intense and nerve-wracking but exciting, but it was also every pitch and every play was almost silent. It was so focused. It was almost like an out-of-body experience. It was really cool. But as a senior, I was just happy to be there with my team. I really made sure to stop and look around and savor every moment.
Available on Android, iPhone, and iPad.
I made sure to cheer for every single teammate because each teammate played a key role on the team, and we couldn't have been there without every single person's individual contribution. Us as the seniors, we had our time, and now it's time for new seniors to step up, go forth, because they are the future of Trine softball, and seniors to step up after them. So make us proud.
Hey, first thing I want to say is just thank you. Thank you for a year I will never forget. It's my 15th year doing this. It's one of the best years I've ever had. Now I just mean the wins. Obviously the wins make it easier. But the fact that you guys just showed up every day. How many drama do we have? How many talks do we have to have? Sometimes I have to yell at you. Sometimes I leave going home pissed off. Very, very little. Why? Because you guys showed up and acted like adults. You showed up and you practiced hard, you played hard, you support each other. I could make any sub I wanted, there's no pouting. We could do whatever we wanted, no one threw a fit. That's why you're here.
It was just really fun to watch those kids embrace that situation, to see the excitement and not really nervousness, but excitement. No one threw up this time. Nobody was gun shy. They just wanted to play. And when you looked at our dugout, you could see the excitement. You could see them just enjoying the moment. And as a coach, all you really want is them to embrace the moment they're in and just play for it and not play with fear. And I thought we did a really good job. Even though we struck out a lot, no one looked scared, no one looked nervous, they just played. And they felt like any second one of us was going to change that game. And even the Emory game was the same way, the Williams game was the same way, and the Texas Lutheran game was the same way. A couple bounces here, a couple bounces there. All those games could change, but their demeanor never changed, and they stayed confident and they just had fun. Last year we probably had the most lineups ever had. We yanked Laney early in the year, we yanked seniors. We had probably 10 different lineups throughout the year. We're changing people late in the season, and they didn't care. They trusted every one of them. If they had Trine in the jersey, everyone in the dugout felt when they came in, we were fine. And they didn't care when they came in, who they came in for, as long as they came in and just played hard and respected the team. And every day they just did that. And it was just fun to sit back and watch everybody just kind of get it.
When they say trust the process through the coaches, trust the process. They know what they're doing, even if you in your mind at the moment say, well, why are we doing this? Just know that they know what they're doing and they'll get you there.
That season was the first time that we stepped outside of the bubble, and once we hit postseason, we did very little as coaches. I think that's the ideal dream of a coach is when you have players that just far exceed your expectation, and not as players but as people. And they surrounded themselves and created their own world, and we just stood outside of it and watched them do magic.
They were relaxed, they knew what they were going to do, they could have fun, and they just took care of business. And they executed so well in key spots of the games.
We definitely bonded a lot in Texas. We were very close the entire season. A lot of us hung out outside of softball, which I think really helped our team chemistry. And our coaches were along for the ride, always telling us, you're doing great, this is what you need to fix. Always constructive in a good way. And making it to the World Series with a team like that, it was something I'll never forget. And having coaches that told us how amazing we were, but also brought us down to the level of understanding that we got to keep our calm, one inning at a time, each game at a time, before we get ahead of ourselves.
You know, obviously we're known as a team that hits well, but I thought our defense was probably the best we've had. And since I've been here, just working together and just playing. They just went out and made plays. Didn't matter if it's a simple backup. You know, you look at some of the plays they made where McKenna makes a diving play and flips it over to Claire. They were always on a rope together. And just played together really well. You know, could have been more proud of some of the young kids really stepping up. I mean, you look at Ashley had a couple of really big swings. And Kayla, you saw really, with Kenna struggling on offense, you kind of saw Kayla go in defense mode at the plate and say, okay, I'm going to step up for my sister here and get us some RBIs. And really, you've seen that carry over into this year into practice. And then in the fall season, her swing looks really good and that aggressiveness has stayed. And you kind of see some of them starting to fight a little more.
So this season, our team goal is to win the whole thing, just like any other year. I don't think that goal will ever change. Personally, I got one more year, so I want to make sure I set the underclassmen up to be successful in the future. So working with our freshmen coming in, the infielders, the ones that are going to be taking over as the upperclassmen get out, I want to make sure that they're in the best situation they can be to fill the role and get themselves to a World Series once we leave. Being both an engineer and on the softball team, it definitely fills up your time. You're busy every second of every day. So you get really good at organization. You make lists upon lists. It really sets you up to be successful no matter where you go, because you're always going to be ready to get whatever you need done. Organization gets you a lot of places. My freshman year, I learned about a cool job where you get to go out and for 3 years you get a different job every year. They pay for your master's degree at the same time. You're going to leadership conferences. They set you up to be successful in both their company and wherever you end up. Throughout my years, I've had my eyes set on that, and luckily after an internship there, I was able to get a spot within that company. I'll be out at BAE Systems in New York, in Binghamton. And for the next 3 years, I get to experience something new every year. I get to find something great, get a master's program in something I really like, and at the same time keep developing my leadership skills.
I am a criminal justice and psychology double major, qualifying for nationals for handgun team. It was my first ever competition in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and being able to say that I qualified to go to like the national event that's going to be in Kansas City was definitely, it was an experience for sure, and I know that it'll help me when I go into the criminal justice field as a law enforcement officer. Personally, I really just want to, send off our seniors on a really high note, a lot like we did last year, and be able to watch and see our freshmen grow, and even our seniors continue to grow as they push forward to graduation, and everybody else on the team. Just kind of be there for them. I
think you look at our roster, obviously, with Kenna being out. She'll be back at some point, we believe. Obviously, I feel Kenna's one of the best players in the country defensively. And, Mercedes Doherty last year was a DH. This year, I think she'll get to play a lot more defense. She has really matured and gotten more athletic. Swing looks good, but her glove works a lot better. And so I think she'll get to fight for some innings. Haley Springer's name last 2 years I've talked about that I feel like is ready. And this year I really see a different change in her in the fall. She crushed it offensively. We had a scrimmage, she hit really well. I think she'll take Laney's spot at third base as of right now. And I think you're starting to see her come into her own. And she's a kid that can swing with anyone when she's confident. Outfield-wise, I mean, you have to talk about, Kayla is probably one of the best center fields, I think, in the country with her arm and her range and her turns. And her leadership. She took 2 freshmen last year and made them play really well. And I don't know who's going to be in left and right. There's 2 freshmen pushing for spots, 2 sophomores trying to keep those spots. And the nice thing is you see all 4 of those kids interacting, getting along. There's no selfishness in that. They're going to push each other. Whoever we pick, they're going to support.
Going into the season, I'm kind of just putting it in my head that yes, we had a big year last year, but we also need to focus on the goal and not let that be something we rely on. We need to understand that that's not that exact team anymore. We're a whole new team and we need to focus and take every little bit of what we have as a team now and push towards that goal.
Yeah, obviously Porter come back behind the dish, a senior that has great command of her pitching staff, brings that comforty, kind of settles it down and just, obviously just does her thing. And obviously Campman on the mounds is exciting to have her back after a great junior year. And I challenged her over the summer and said, hey, if you look at all our pitchers in the past, very few have had better senior years than junior years. I think junior year is always that peak year. I'm challenging you to have your best year as a senior. And I think she's on pace to do that.
Last season was pretty successful as a team. It was really fun, and I know I evolved a lot and became like a bigger person and learned a lot of things on the mound and with my teammates. And I think as a class, I know we haven't won conference tournament yet, so I think that's something we really want to accomplish.
For me, this year the goal is to make the pitching staff the best that I can be and be competitive with all the other pitching staffs. We lost Kate last year, and now we have Hannah, and then we have to bring up the new freshmen to make them as good as Kate was or better to make it to the national championship.
One thing we're looking forward to this season is, last year we were not very quick. People that saw us play, I think we have some things defensively that we had some weaknesses last year that we have fixed this year. People that try to attack a certain way last year, this year, if they try that, I think we'll be a lot better defensively, which will help. We have a lot more team speed, more lefties in the lineup possible, with some faster righties as well. We still have the right to go long with the long ball, but I think we can attack you different ways now. Everyone knew last year at the fence, we make it a double, we made it stop at 1. This year now, we should be able to push the envelope a little bit with some more speed, and we have more pitch running off the bench. We have more depth off the bench, so we should be able to look at righty-lefty matchups and figure out our best lineup. We have 5 pitchers on staff we feel comfortable throwing, so we can attack you a little differently this way as well. So I think we have more depth than we had in the past. We have really good talent, and as long as the girls don't let it become an issue, it should be one of our biggest strengths is how we can approach each game and each pitcher with the best lineup to attack that defense.
I don't think a coach genuinely goes in each year. Yeah, the wins matter, the losses matter, the rankings, all that stuff's important. But I think when you step into what you're doing and trying to accomplish each year, it's still the same. Genuinely being there with these players, with these young women, and showing them who they are. Because if we can teach them confidence and just grace and passion and develop them into the people that they were meant to be, the people that we saw when we started recruiting them, if we can successfully do that throughout the course of the 4 or 5 months that we get to play, then that's success. And so every year that never changes, and that's what the core of our culture is. They come in and become the players that they are because of the belief system that's wrapped around them. I mean, it's where our heart is.